Hello and welcome to Walk the Pod, your daily walking show where I take my podcast for a walk because I don't have a dog. You're very welcome along to episode 6, series 61, in which the daily walking podcast that tempts you away from your desk for just 10 minutes will be encouraging you to slow down to find a more natural rhythm. We have a couple of voice notes today. First one from Lee Robinson from the Slow Paths podcast, and one from Machers, who has a poem for us. Welcome to Walk the Pod.
Hi Rachel, it's Lee here from the Slow Paths podcast. Just wishing you well and thanking you for doing such an excellent job of encouraging people to get out, even if it's only for 10 minutes, to get in nature, and certainly for helping people with their mental health. We are all often finding our way in life and struggling and fighting against challenges that we perhaps are unforeseen. And when we get out walking, it really does help. So well done for all the brilliant work that you're doing, and keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Hi Rachel, thank you. I'm out on a walk in my local woods catching up on Walk the Pod. It's so true. The good thoughts come when you slow down. After listening to you, my mind drifted onto Edward Thomas, a writer I used to love as a teenager. And he made himself mentally ill with work, writing biographies, nature books, and sometimes 15 book reviews a week. And then in 1915, he joined the army, and in the next 2 years, he wrote 144 of the most beautiful poems in the English language, despite the slight distraction of being an artillery officer in World War I. Odd way of slowing down, but his creativity just burst out of him. This is from his poem, Beauty. Though I am like a river, at fall of evening, while it seems that never has the sun lighted it or warmed it, while cross breezes cut the surface to a file, this heart, some fraction of me, happily, floats through the window, even now, to a tree, down in the misting, dim-lit quiet vale, not like a peewit that returns to wail for something it has lost, but like a dove that slants unswerving to its home and love. There I find my rest, and through the dusk air flies what yet lives in me. Beauty is there. Oh.
First of all, thank you, Lee. I don't know Lee. I have not heard from Lee before, so a huge jolt of excitement when I had a voice note from a new person. Thank you, Lee, for getting in touch. I look forward to listening to the Slow Paths podcast. And from a quick look at your Instagram, it seems we are very much aligned and on the same page about the benefits of slowing down and walking for mental and also physical health. So I look forward to getting to know you, and thank you for your voice note. And same to you. You know, we're all discovering how helpful slowing down and walking in nature can be, and appreciating what it's doing for our mental health. So it's really good to find another person who has had the same thought and is starting a new way to reach out to new people to spread the message about walking the slow path. And Machers, thank you for that beautiful poem. I've listened to that a few times now, and it's just starting to really seep into my brain properly. It often takes me a few goes of listening to a poem before I start to actually get it. Sounds like Edward Thomas was a prolific person, and often with huge prolificness comes an enormous amount of pain, which the prolificness is seeking to address or to mask or to use as a tool to dig through some of the pain. And I mean, what a life, you know. How do you, quite apart from writing 15 book reviews a week, you've obviously got to read 15 books a week to be able to write 15 book reviews a week. And I don't know how he managed to do that, really. And then being drafted into the army and being an artillery officer, I mean, yeah, it's not enviable life, is it really? But I mean, in an odd kind of a way, I suppose there are examples of people who have not only been moved to write by terrible things happening to them in their own lives, but I suppose also if you're stationed in a trench for 10 weeks or whatever and you manage to survive, what have you got to do other than put pen to paper? So that space, that slowing down of whatever normal life was before, gives us the opportunity. A little like, the other examples I was talking about last week. People who were creative and then suddenly had an opportunity to spend significantly more time on their creative pursuits, and the difference that made to what they could actually produce. So we all, I think, fantasize about having more time to do the creative things that matter to us. But perhaps what we aren't so confident to do is to carve out time, to create time by choosing to do fewer things. Something we touched on last week. So whether the universe conspires to give you more time or whether you rip the time from the rest of your life, it certainly makes a tremendous difference to everybody trying to put things into the world that are not already there. What can I see directly in front of me? Well, I'm walking on my own street where I live today, not in the woods actually. And there's quite a lot of building work happening on the surrounding streets, so I've gone on occasional little sorties down some of the neighbouring streets, only to be scared away by the sounds of drills and screwdrivers going off. But the street that I actually live on is very quiet today. And it's the usual sort of combination of rather scraggly trees on the verges, which are completely bare at the moment. There's not a leaf amongst them, being as it is mid-January. And people's cars and vans and things parked outside homes. The odd person jogging with a dog on a lead. And an aeroplane going overhead. And rather grey and overcast sky, it has to be said. So, not the most beautiful day in the world, but a peaceful day. So that's something, isn't it? I'm excited that I've got another voice note to share with you tomorrow. Charles the Kiwi has been in touch from New Zealand to drop me a few thoughts on slowing down by speeding up, which sounds like a contradiction, but I promise it's not. And I'm looking forward to seeing where else we can get to by the end of the series, because we've got 4 episodes after this one. Now, if you've enjoyed this series and you'd like to listen to some of the other Walk the Pod series, there are 60 other series that you can listen to, many of which are on similar themes to this one. So do have a look back through the 650 odd episodes that there are in the world of Walk the Pod, and you can use any of them to do your 10-minute walk at lunchtime. Just pick one that looks interesting. And what I quite like to do is create a sort of game out of my podcasts. There are certain podcasts that I'm only allowed to listen to when I'm doing particular things, normally things that I find difficult to start. So if you want to walk more in 2026, you could perhaps create a rule that you're only allowed to listen to Walk the Pod whilst you're walking in nature. And if you do that in 10-minute chunks at a time, so be it. It's been lovely walking with you today, dear friends. I'm looking forward to bringing you the rest of the series. Members of the Walk the Pod Lunchtime Walk Club will get some photos from behind the scenes of Walk the Pod on Friday. And there are postcards winging their way as we speak to everybody on the scenic snail mail tier of the Patreon. which you can find by Googling Patreon and Rachel Wheely, or Walk the Pod. Either will get you there. So do join if you'd like to get more involved. Take care of your beautiful mind, and I'll be back with episode 7 tomorrow.